Hi guys, welcome back to Fata Morgana. Today we're going to be looking into Mell's backstory. Now this is going to be really quite exciting because not only is it going to tell us just what drove him to do all of the bad things that he has done, but we're also probably going to learn a lot about the swordsman and also the lord. So it's kind of 3 for the price of 1, which is really quite nice. And it's probably just going to give Michelle a piece of perspective of how difficult it's going to be able to convince the Lord about giving the key up, and also same for the swordsman as well. I do wonder who's going to be more difficult to get the key from though. It really depends on the weaknesses that they have, that is, if they have weaknesses. Maybe he's going to have to get some of them by force, like for example the Lord's key by force. Yeah. Yeah, and I suppose, there's Michelle just really convincing everybody to act. If it wasn't for Michelle, this would not be happening. No way. Yeah. You can never predict it, but hopefully it will work out. Yeah. Definitely sounds like the Mell we know from chapter 1. Flax coloured rather than flaxen hair. That's a new one. Yeah, if only. So I really do wonder when he's going to have been kicked out of his household, just because of problems with his family. Oh my god, this is a different background. Wow. God, this looks odd. This really does look odd. I like the fence, and it's very unusual in the sense that it's really run down looking. I love this rural pathway as well. It looks like a really tiny road, if anything. I mean, they wouldn't have had a need for roads in times like these, but still. Well, just some sort of footpath. Yeah, it's really cool. I love the colour scheme. I think the colour scheme's the best thing about this image. It looks so vibrant. God, so you turn 17 and then it's just like a fuck you. I mean, to be fair, when I turned 17, everything changed for me as well. So, yeah. God. Yeah, that's rough. So he was still in the household when he was 17, okay. Yeah. Yeah, so it's just he's died and then... Oh yes, let's just make it even more difficult for him. So why didn't he? Oh god. What a middle finger to you. Oh my god. God. Yeah, that's properly rough. Yeah. But he didn't have part in it. Of course he didn't. Yeah, you can tell that he has a really influential and, let's be honest, rich family from this. Yeah, fair enough. I suppose it's nice that you don't have to do what you were set out to do, but at the same time it's bad because that shows that people have such a lack of trust for you. But it also shows that, well, people just don't care about what you do. That is fair. Yeah. Yeah, that's reasonable. I mean, he has a quiet, happy life with his sister. Obviously, his life would definitely move on, and it's not going to be like this forever, even if they had none of this family dispute-related stuff. But yeah, it looks like there's going to be a change quite soon. Jesus Christ. Is it really right to banish somebody from the household just because of the fact that they are not grown up enough to be there? That's ridiculous. It looks like his mother definitely didn't reject this either. That's horrible. Oh my god, I remember this place. I swear this was in really early chapter 1. Wait, hang on a sec. I'm actually going to check. No, actually, this is not similar at all. I don't even know why I thought that was similar. I don't know. I think it was just instinct. That's similar. Dude, that is not similar whatsoever. The only place that you could think it's remotely similar to is maybe Javi's house from chapter 2. But, like, maybe nothing else. Actually, let me check what his house looks like. Okay. Yeah. Looks like my instinct actually served me right. It's literally the same house. That's really cool. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, never mind, okay. I thought I hadn't outputted any of that, but it looks like I have. Right, okay. Anyway, right. He was probably power hungry as well, let's be honest here. Doesn't, kind of like the Lord in a way. Fair. Yeah, it must be a real change. There is. And obviously, I suppose in the rich house that they were in beforehand, there was still Mell and Nelly. But at the same time, I suppose they weren't really allowed to connect like they could here. Yeah, so I suppose everything was probably really quite nice until Nelly fell ill. Yeah, fair enough. And just constantly having to maintain your appearance and maintain formalities as well. Not really something that you would voluntarily do. Jesus Christ. I just find it interesting that this is kind of like a rich person way of saying that they love, Actually, hang on a second. I mean, sure, you're getting a composer to write a song. That's very, very expensive. There's a huge amount of value attached to that, but you're just getting somebody else to give a gift that you could have given yourself. So I suppose it's good in the sense that you get a gift, but I suppose because there may have been that lack of personal touch, so that's why she doesn't really value the gift much. Like, it's not her parents giving her the gift, it's a composer, some random person that she doesn't even know, for a very personal day, which is her birthday. And funnily enough, Mell can't be bought with money. Well, I mean, to be fair, slavery did exist in this time, but what I'm trying to say is, he's invaluable to Mell. Sorry, I meant Nelly. Yeah, this is ideal for Nelly. Fair. Oh yeah, that's lucky. So she can really engage in her interest as well. Yeah. Oh my god, that's hilarious. God, so this is really mirroring the first time Michelle and Nelly met. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough. I think it's probably hitting for Mell that he will finally be able to spend life outside his family. And as a result of that, he'll be able to live a better life, let's be honest here. Yeah, very, very true. All of that stuff at home does not matter whatsoever now. And if only it persisted like this. Yeah, yeah. You have got a very optimistic attitude, but Let's just hope that optimistic attitude will work. That's what I'm trying to imply. It might not work. Yeah, fair enough. Let's just hope they don't get bored of each other's company. But to be fair, I mean, it's not that Nelly has uncontrollable love for Mell, it's just that she enjoys spending time with him and she feels she can really be herself with him. And let's be honest, she has nobody else because she's really quite secluded in the rich people's household, so she's kind of latched onto Mell because that's the only source of company that she has. Yeah, and this is kind of the birth of that view that Mell has, that he just has to do as much as he can to ensure her happiness, and that's only going to increase when she gets ill. Yeah, that's really nice. Oh god, yeah. Yeah. I'm actually quite surprised she could get away with it. Isn't it interesting that she doesn't even care about her parents here? Surely you would have thought there'd be some sort of regret, but no. That gives me an indication that, well, their parents don't give a fuck about them. Yeah, fair enough. That's a really cozy atmosphere. I love the colours as well. I think they are... Oh, they know how to do colour schemes in this visual novel. Seriously. I love this. It just looks amazing. Such an unusual art style. Really, really fits, to be honest. That's fair enough, I suppose. I mean, Mell has just constantly been rejected by people in his family just because he's not good enough, just because he is being himself and that's not good enough. Yeah. Not the best thing to be surrounded by in your own household. Yeah, rather than, let's be honest, a political tool. Yeah, that's reasonable. Yeah, so I suppose he's always been put down, and then Nelly's appreciation is what gives him his sense of self-worth. So I suppose he always wants to maintain that just so that he feels he has something he can live for. And I suppose Michelle, it must be really odd for Mell just learning from Michelle that that way of living is wrong, and that way is actually damaging your sister. Yeah, I suppose beforehand he was blessed, but with, well, monetary, well, things that can be measured with monetary value. Now he is blessed with emotional value, if you like. Oh god, is this going to be when she gets ill? Okay, so he'd actually been given something. It's interesting that he's been banished from his household, and yet at the same time he has been given money to fend for himself. Yeah, you can really see differences in how he and Michelle were treated. so I suppose the supply goes finite, and then, sorry, the supply really decreases in terms of how much there is, and then you need to find work. That's fair. He has been put down quite a lot, so he's finding it, I suppose he's just finding it quite hard to do something off of his own back. Fully understandable, yeah. Yeah, it must be hard to process that, yeah. Isn't that interesting? That's kind of a lie, but at the same time, it's a lie said to make Nelly feel better. Yeah, so it's not just him, it's Nelly as well. She probably wanted to get out of the poison that household offered. Well, to be fair, I'm just assuming it's poisonous. I don't really know. I would say there's a chance of it being not the most pleasant. Drugs? No, I'm just kidding. Damn. Oh my god. Is it alive? God, he really is doing everything he can. He's just doing it because he wants to make memories. I suppose obviously he wants to be the best he can so that he can have a sense of importance, but still, he just wants to do it for the sake of having fun with her. God, that's the chicken there. Oh my god. She's never seen a real chicken before. Wow. Yeah. That's not a very nice question to think about. God. Yeah. No, fair enough. I'd never ever be able to do that myself. You really have got to be a type of person to do something like this. It's a good way to absolutely traumatise yourself. Yeah. Yeah, seriously. I'd never be able to do this myself. Never, ever. If I'm going to be honest, I'm bad on that front. I only cook vegetarian things. And fish. And tuna. Maybe some stuff in tins as well, like sardines. Never meat though. That's my point. I have used mincemeat once, but like probably won't do that again. Well, neither has she. God, yeah, don't do it inside. What? Dude, what if the chicken's fucking diseased? Oh god, you're actually gonna kill it. God. Such a beautiful background, but such an ugly thing that's happening. Holy shit, they're getting no dinner. Yeah, you were messing that up. Oh my god, so he's really, really clumsy. Yeah, I can see why these people wouldn't really want him for a leader, but yeah, still, oh my god. I wonder if he's going to get a job. Yeah, fair. Yeah, fair enough. I suppose Nelly has a lot less care about the whole rich world just because she has less. It just fulfills her less, and this is the lifestyle she's always wanted to live, so of course it's brilliant. But I suppose I can totally see that, yeah. Yeah. I suppose he's really used to the lifestyle of living as a noble. It must be quite odd just to forcefully change lifestyles just because of who you are. I mean, yeah. Think about Michelle. And little bitch Amy. Oh my god. Seriously, yeah. They can't prove it though. Can I just mention that I find it very interesting that Nellie was angry to all of the Abigails and mistreated them, but it's interesting because you can really see a more selfish aspect of her character, because I suppose she didn't like the life that she was given, sure, but at the same time, I was going to say, does that really justify her being mean to the people that are kind of encouraging that lifestyle and obviously showering her in riches, where that's obviously not what she needs? But then you've got to remember the fact that she is an immature child. And I don't mean that as an insult, I mean that literally. She's young. So even though she is quite spoiled because of the reasons that I just mentioned, you can't fully blame her, if you ask me. She doesn't really have much well, she does have control over it, but... Well, no. She has less control over it because she's younger, I suppose. Like, she actually needs to be told to stop being spoiled rather than just instinctively thinking, this is not right. I do not treat other people like this. I'm not an arsehole. But, yeah. That doesn't happen. Yeah, this is funny, though. Another aspect of Nellie's character that has been... It's obviously really similar to how it was in Chapter 1. Do you know what? I need my water. There we go. But they still have the same hair and eye colour. In an ideal scenario. True. Really? True. Oh dear. That's hilarious. God, what a disappointing reaction. Yep. Fucking somebody who is probably... She's gotta be at least 7 years younger. Not a very good thing. I mean, I get that this is like probably the 10th century, but still, it still applies. That's actually really quite funny. So I suppose it goes against the teachings of the Lord, and that's how they live. That's how Mell lives his life by, and that is why he has all of these teachings. So as a result of that, he can't, well, marry his sister, do the funny, which is incest. Interesting. Does that justify needing to marry someone, though? I mean, sure, her smile has obviously kept you going on, giving you a sense of purpose, and also she's brilliant to spend time with, and you get on very well with her, and you just enjoy her company, but does that really justify marrying her? And I think you'll find the answer, in my opinion, is definitely no. Like, I mean, that's just not enough to marry someone. To be fair, you can, but where are they going to get the money for a wedding for? Seriously. Yeah, fair enough. Oh god. What happened? Oh, right, okay. God, she's so young as well. Yeah. God, and she cares about that more than anything. She doesn't even care about her healing. She just wants to be with Mell. It's such an unrealistic desire, if anything. I mean, you should really prioritise yourself, but at the same time she doesn't. And that's just how natural her feelings are, I suppose. The fact that they are prioritised over anything else. The fuck? Oh, my bottle's being funny. As in, strange. Fair. No, you won't be. Oh yeah, just keep telling yourself that, yeah. I suppose saying that to reassure her. I don't actually know what he feels himself. That was a bit of a misinterpretation. I hope so. But unfortunately that's definitely not the case. Yeah, fair enough. It must be very difficult, especially because of the fact that this is the only person in your life. You cannot live without her, let's be honest here. It would be so much more difficult. Yeah. You wouldn't have any purpose. And it's interesting that you feel like you gain your purpose from another person rather than gaining it, rather than using yourself as a means of gaining said purpose. Yeah. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah. And this really shows how difficult life was back in times like these, because they didn't have healthcare. And he has money, sure, he's probably spent a lot of it on foods that could possibly make Nelly better, but at the same time, I mean, he still doesn't have professional healthcare. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's interesting. I can totally see why, but it's surprising that he simplifies it like that. Fully fair. Yeah, that must be. It must be so awful. Yeah. Oh, you really are grasping at straws. That's a good way of describing it. Yeah. Well, she left just because she had no end in sight. She was going to die. It was only luck that she settled here. What is it exactly? I've heard the word recluse, but I don't fully know what it means. Oh, right, okay, so basically just solitary life, tends to avoid other people. It's basically... Let's be honest. A lot of us. I'm kind of like that, I suppose. Yeah. They, who is they? Who are you referring to? I'd assume it's just random people that she... Also, are we going to get Morgana Sprite? My god, so we're going to get a view of her cottage. Wow. So this is it. Massive tree as well. I hope we get Morgana Sprites. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be really exciting to see what his perspective is with Morgana and what he thinks. And it's interesting how his selfishness of getting... Oh god, I just think it's so horrible that he cares about Nelly, let's be honest here. But at the same time, what does he care about more, Nelly or himself? Now, I don't think he's some type of sociopath, I just think he's kind of beating himself up about this. I think he does genuinely care about Nelly. But he just tends to think of himself as a sociopath and blame himself for, like, when I say that, I mean he doesn't really admit to himself that he cares about her. He just thinks that he's doing it for himself. In a way. So I suppose Mell was just told about Morgana through people who have been blessed by her that probably live nearby. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder where they were coming from. Oh yeah, totally, yeah. Yeah, you just have possible indications of her being a witch, and you also have, well, no knowledge about the person on the other side of the door. It's total desperation. God, look at this. A close-up of her door. And window. Her door. No, it's the old woman's door. I like the leaves. This brick looks surprisingly... Oh, sorry, surprisingly new for its time. Yeah, totally, yeah. Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen her face yet. So he did genuinely feel possible love. Fair enough. Maybe this is the true power of the witch. That's interesting. So, he's been told about the old woman, not Morgana. Yeah. So I thought when Mell was saying he expected an old woman to be there, I thought that was just a stereotype of a witch. I didn't realise that he was actually referring to the old woman who used to live here. Oh no, no way. I imagine very humble, and yet at the same time very, I suppose, authoritative. No, you don't. She would have been, but society happened. Fair. It shows the value of an outer appearance. Like in chapter 2, really. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it is. In a way. But it's also just because of immense poverty. And a lack of escape. Bandits as well. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, and this is what really made Mell stick out. It's interesting though, I mean, he seeks kindness in Morgana because of the fact that Morgana is helping. A lot of these people just take what Morgana is offering rather than actually giving something themselves. And I suppose Mell has given Morgana what a lack of other people have given, which is acceptance and just actually treating her like a human being and just putting up a brave front for her, but at the same time doing the right thing. Fair enough. It still worked, I suppose. She's still feeling a little bit better. And isn't it interesting, you've seen someone so many times and yet you still believe that you can never ever show your face just because you don't want to show them who you truly are, and it's awful. And it's just a really quite common theme in Fata Morgana, I find, just people having appearances that they can't, well, people just not being able to show the true feelings that they have to the other person. Chapter 3 in that sense was a good example, but I worded that kind of badly. I meant to say like true. Well, I suppose they have something different and society finds it hard to accept. Michelle and Morgana are really good examples. Yeah, fair enough. Well, I definitely find it easier to talk to people around your age in real life than people older, I suppose. Well, it depends on the person, really. I don't know. I think it really depends on the person how much of this you feel. I see what he's trying to say, but yeah. I suppose with people your age, you can relate to them the most, and especially if they're going through a similar experience, which is quite nice when you're at school. You see some people that are going through similar experiences to you in terms of studying. Not many, but yeah, some. Oh yeah. So I suppose what happened is she was probably deported. She was probably sent to this other country when the Lord had an indication of what her blood could provide, and then she was probably forcibly sent over. This is a detail that I wish they had... Either they have mentioned and I've forgotten it, or they haven't, and if they haven't, then that's bad. But yeah. 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 Must be so unusual. God. This is a very interesting background as well. They did a very good job on these rural backgrounds. Really, really interesting scenery. But God, look at Morgana and just look at how fucking horrible her face looks. I'm sorry, but if you're cutting somebody's face off, why would you leave this part? Why leave this part of the chin? And why does everything look really, really awful? Fucking hell, even her nose. Jesus Christ. Just I think you really get a picture of just how fucking awful her cutting was when you see this. It's just disturbing. It really is. It's not her fault. It's not her fault at all. This is what a shit parent can do to someone. It feels weird seeing her hand rather than a skeleton hand. And also, her hand, why is her wrist not really, really bloody? I would have thought it would be. Maybe, well, as you can see, she's done her best to cover all of her body. Maybe that's why. Maybe up above there's a lot more in terms of blood and wounds. Anyway, let's just... They're similar in a way because they are both people who have been sent away from their native land, if you like, or native place of living, just because of who they are. And in Morgana's case, well, no, let's not complicate it. Just because of who they are. That's something that they both have in common. Yeah, that's reasonable. Yeah, because I suppose you're wanting to see the person for who she is beneath the looks. Looks don't matter. They really, really don't. I find it very interesting to think about the fact that it really sounds as if she has insider knowledge that a doctor would have. I'm actually really quite surprised on how much she has trained herself. But let's be honest, I mean, this is a whole new world that she can familiarise herself with. And I suppose she can learn about the plants and she can learn about their applications. She can't read or write though, so I don't know how that would happen, but yeah. No, I think she probably just had some means of being able to learn about the plants. You don't have to read or write to be able to know everything. Anyway, let's see what happens here. Yeah, because you are not hideous inside. You are only hideous because of what hideous people have done to you. And what your hideous mum has made you carry, really. Yeah. And isn't it interesting because Morgana is seeing somebody who actually accepts her and someone who doesn't just discriminate based on her face. It's just horrible how much of instinctive disgust she has. You might want to take that back. Yeah. Totally reasonable. I mean, okay, it's not a competition who's gone through the most trauma, but yeah, this is true. God, look at how negative she is and look at how she just instinctively pushes everybody away. I mean, just look at their physical appearance. Yeah, totally. Anybody is. Can I just mention that I find it very interesting that her blood is really, really similar of a colour to her lips. You can never tell when she's smiling. It's just yet another horrible thing that has happened. God, yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe you could ask, but I don't know if that's a good idea. Yeah, I suppose just you probably have a lot of stuff that you have bottled up that you have never been able to talk to anybody. So, of course, him just being as nice as he can. Is that really going to work though? With somebody who has had things horrible, like as horrible as what has happened to Morgana? Will it work or not? Fair enough, she doesn't have to. He will learn sooner than later though. She doesn't want to relive the trauma, I don't blame her. I don't blame her. Yeah, fair. Oh my god, it's not because of that. Yeah, but God, to think that she just can't accept another person for genuinely being good. I suppose she's experienced a lot of bad people, so she just expects everybody unknown to be bad. I mean, all of the people in that, all of the prostitutes, they were really, really nice to her. Yeah. Yeah, you can escape. Oh god. I mean, she's lived such a tough time that she's never really had the chance to develop any of them. I don't blame her for thinking this. And she is very, very cold and very sour, but I think she definitely appreciates what Mell is doing, the acceptance that Mell is giving that nobody else has given her. For somebody like Morgana to learn of a normal life, that would be anything but boring, let's be honest here. So how the fuck did it go from this to Morgana's left arm being amputated by a sword? How? I think she's listening, but she's really emotionally impacted. Just because she realises what a life that is somewhat close to normal is like, really. Oh wow. I think it's really funny. Morgana has. I wonder if Morgana OCDs about just normality. I wonder why she's so fussy. Is it because she's paranoid about being seen? That's really sweet. I'm surprised you know this in like 10th century. Yeah. True. Yeah, you're very reasonable. And it is interesting to think that, let's be honest, Morgana has this very realistic and logical and good thinking that a lot of people wouldn't really be able to have had in times like these, if you ask me. And let's be honest, she has really quite scientific thinking. I mean, God, what an insult. You just have somebody with probably a ridiculous amount of intellect, and firstly, she's a woman, so she couldn't really express it even if she wanted to, and secondly, well, she's just being ridiculed her entire life by other people and anyone, really, just totally being ruined. It's totally reasonable, though. I actually kind of agree. It's interesting because you can interpret one thing. You can use facts to interpret something differently. You can use the fact that the bird has wings, that it can fly and it can be free, to interpret it in a happy way but an unrealistic way that's not reflective of what would actually happen with a bird. Or you can use the negative way that obviously is not happy but it's realistic. So what's better? Happiness and unrealism, or a lack of happiness yet realism? Who would understand people after being abused by them like she was? Yeah, she just simply doesn't know the boundaries of other people because she hasn't really had much experience of talking to them, of being able to relate to them, of socialising. It's just all of the things that somebody could want in life and somebody needs. Well, Morgana can't have it. Why? Why can't she have it? Why can't she have it? Because, well, her mother, basically. She wasn't born into somewhere nice. I wonder what would have happened if Morgana was a man. Can I just mention that? Or if she would have had similar treatment. I think her character fits a woman much more, but it would have been interesting to see what would have happened if Morgana was male. Why would she ever want to admit that? But, yeah, it's interesting that Mell's saying this. I want to hear him out. True. He really is encouraging her living in the best way. Right, so I'm far removed from any idea of humanity. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, I kind of feel like I disagree because Morgana's situation is very, very extreme, And oh my fucking god, I hope nobody has ever experienced something similar to this. If you took every single human being who has ever lived and you had some sort of weird means of objectively analysing every single statistic of how, well, so every single summary of how they have lived their life, who in the world, in which time period, would objectively have the most similar life to Morgana. And it doesn't have to be in the past, it could be in the future as well. But obviously that would be a bit impossible to get. That's always a thought I have sometimes, like, who or what out of all of history would objectively be similar? And it always ends in the answer, you would never know, because you can't prove it. But anyway, I'm going off the rails here. No, disagree, because your situation is very extreme, but at the same time, if you apply normal reasoning and normal empathy and normal understanding, you can kind of make sense with it and kind of understand it like you would a normal situation. You can apply understanding that you have developed through understanding normal situations to then try and understand a situation that's very extreme, if you ask me. I think Mell could do it. I think he really could. He would probably be very, very shocked, but he still could. Yeah. It's totally reasonable what she's saying, though. Morgana really needs a friend like this. Really does. Oh god. Yeah, not really. She kind of forgot about her mum, let's be honest here. Yeah, not even your mum. And obviously not your dad. Obviously the dad ran off with, I don't know, some other woman or something. Or maybe her mother wasn't. Maybe she was an accident, who knows. Yeah. Yeah. She really isn't mentioning much. She just doesn't want to relive it. I don't blame her. You may not experience the same level of empathy, but you are still what we call a human being. I suppose that's what he's trying to say. For fuck's sake, my webcam is really... This must be so weird for Morgana. It really must. Yes, I agree. There are some very unusual parts to her character. God, I wonder when the swordsman is going to come. I really do. Anyway, I just wanted to see if we get a reason in Morgana's story for why she is so closed off. What the fuck happened to me? Okay, that might... Yeah, she was moved. Yeah, and this is interesting, and it's sweet, and it is really quite interesting that he... Well, I suppose he is really quite moved. Well, Morgana's moved because I suppose she's one of the people that they've had a horrible life, so they really, really value kindness more than the average person would. And she probably couldn't fathom why that would happen. Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Seeing the lines repeated. Yeah, it's interesting that she definitely likes Mell. Yeah. And then does it go on to the next part? Yeah. Yeah, and then everything begins, and... Dude, so I'm drinking with the same water bottle, and I'm wearing the same hoodie as I am today. That's hilarious. Yeah. Yeah, so I suppose that'll be the next part that we'll see. Right, here we go. Oh my god, there's just no guarantee, there really isn't. I know, it must be awful, just especially because there's been a real pattern of her getting better for a partial time period and then her getting worse. When she's better, you can never relax, you can never fully be certain that her improvement in health is going to be something that lasts for quite a while, really. Yeah, fair enough. No. You just shouldn't do that. Yeah, sure, she has it worse than you, but that doesn't mean you're not experiencing something. You can't not listen to yourself just because somebody else is suffering something more than you. You need to be realistic with yourself. Yeah. Yeah, you really would have thought that, and she would be totally the type of person to say that, even though it is the 10th century. But yeah, very, very against society and its popular beliefs. Yeah. What? Yeah, yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, said from the realist. Yeah. Is she actually going to tell Mell the full story? Like everything that happened? I like how that's put. If anything, it was quite the opposite. A bit exaggerated, but okay. Isn't it interesting to think about the fact that she is a realist, and let's be honest, her mother has banged some man, or maybe the other way around, and it's not been known about, so as a result of that she's been able to claim that that Morgana is the daughter of God because she had sex with nobody and yet she had a kid. And you can just see that belief totally shape how she has thought about herself, even though, let's be honest, it was probably just part of her mother's plot to make money for herself and be able to live a good life, even if it means completely ruining somebody else's life. And isn't it interesting to think about the fact that Morgana didn't trust Mell beforehand. She didn't reason why anybody would want to be able to accept someone with such a hideous physical appearance that she has. And now that somebody has actually accepted, now that somebody has actually accepted her, I suppose she feels more trust, because firstly, Mell has been very kind, but secondly, she's moved by just what is going on with him and his sister and how much he cares and how much he'll do everything. Yeah. Coincidence? Sorry, placebo effect. But of course, you would misinterpret this in the 11th century. Sorry, in the like 10th or 11th century. Ooh. Jesus Christ. Oh god, I've just got the worst image. Do you know what I'm gonna say because it's funny? So if you guys have ever been into a kebab place and you've seen the kebab that goes on that little spinning platform and it spins around, and then the people who are making the kebabs, they get the knife and then they get the meat and they cut a slice of, not a knife, sorry, just a kind of like a peeler but really big, and they cut loads of slices off. It's kind of like that but with Morgana's skin. God. I hate myself. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah. I do too. I think the thing that sets her apart is the fact that she has been able to go through the most horrible life. The most horrible life. And yet still be sane, be normal, and be able to carry on. No. No way. True. Of course you would. Yeah. God, what is this fucking theme, man? Dude, it's just... I just listen to this theme and I just filled with goosebumps. I really can't help it. It's just... This theme gives power that I've rarely seen before, to be honest. It's just power with the moments that are associated with it, I suppose. Oh, you must have faith for the miracle to be performed at all, I think you meant to say. It's just placebo, dude. I so hope we can save somebody as kind as this. I just so hope it can actually happen. Hear my words, I hear them. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. In my opinion. Really. God, without hesitation. I think that's a very important detail to think about, the fact that she has probably done this so many times that doing something as terrifying as cutting your wrist open, she just does it without any hesitation. And that is terrifying. Even that is terrifying. The fact that somebody can actually do that. Who's not a psychopath as well. By the way, I find it very interesting. This is no con. None of this is a con. I believe that because Morgana is not conning anybody. She genuinely believes all of this, which is ironic because of how much it contrasts against her realist state of thinking. What? So around there, okay. Bluish, fucking hell. Fair. Reasonable. I wonder. That is interesting. You don't selfishly think about how the miracle is going to benefit you. No, you think about the fact that you have done something that is really taboo based. But Nellie's placebo, that is all you need. Sorry, placebo effect. Let's be specific. Are you alright? He completely forgets himself to prioritise Nellie, isn't that interesting? Oh, for fuck's sake. So a progeny is like a descendant, like an offspring. Can I just mention, I find it very interesting that, yeah, maybe I can say this. No, I can definitely say this. It's interesting how little gender inequality there is here. And it's interesting how even though Mell has been raised into a noble household, he sees people for more human rather than gender, well, rather than seeing women as people who are lower. And it's ironic how this kind of violates gender inequality because Morgana has power over all of them until, obviously, that stops. Which we'll see tomorrow, probably, yeah. Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. You're just scared at what this person can do, I suppose. And I suppose you put your trust and your feelings of passion and love, in a way, into somebody that is so unbelievably different and fearful in terms of what she can do. But I mean, she needs Mell just as much as, well, she needs Mell She really does. She needs somebody who can give some colour to her life. But now I think she's not going to get that. Because you are terrified of what she can do. And it's interesting that it feels kind of taboo-like now. And it really feels like he's violating something just by contributing in this, really. Holy shit, the roles are reversed. Oh, me. Eel. Mell. Yeah, it's as if nothing has ever changed. And I think this is going to make the power Morgana's blood has. I think that will definitely make him more terrified. What? Shit. Well, yeah. You're actually alive and not basically being like a living corpse. That in itself is very, very surprising. That's so weird. I get that it can all be explained by the placebo effect, but this is weird. I'm sorry, there is no other way of reasoning with it. This is weird. Isn't it interesting that you think of her as really pretty? You didn't get to see her face though. I remember what you want to remember, I suppose. That's really weird. I don't know if this was a dream. I think she might have experienced this genuinely, rather than in the world of dreams. Yeah, sure. That's interesting. Yeah, that's really quite important. There are so many times where Morgana has given somebody blood. Oh, they've just gone on their quest. Have they ever thanked her? Have they ever really appreciated just what she is doing to her body to be able to please these people? Oh my god, it makes me sound like she's getting fucked or something. Oh my god. You get what I mean. Must be so difficult thinking of things like these. But it gives you a real excuse just to become totally isolated. True. You can never tell. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You're feeling relieved because of exactly the reasons that you have been discussing, because if her idealised image goes, she will be terrified, and she'll be terrified of you for hanging out with somebody like this. Well, not really hanging out, but walking with them. Yeah, but it's interesting because this stuff about idealising images and faith really contributes to the idea that all of this is just one massive placebo effect. Yeah. Ideally. And then Nellie's gonna become ill again, bet you anything. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? That's happened directly after she has taken the blood. That never happened before. You can see how the blood might actually be killing her. And then she's going to take the blood more. She's going to take it more. And it's just going to make her get worse. And maybe all of this medicine that Morgana has been giving her, I mean, sure, she sounds like she is quite knowledgeable, but I mean, she's not a specialist, she's not qualified. What if that objectively was having a worse impact on her and could have been potentially exacerbating the effects of all of this shit? It could have. Maybe. I don't know. Holy shit, man. This is bad. Yeah, God, you were so worried. Because you genuinely believe in the placebo effect, yeah? Isn't it horrible to think about the fact that you are killing your sister? But lack of medical knowledge. These people think they are doing something good. And that is why this is so deadly. And I remember, I saw it was when I was reading Tsubahibi or something like that, or don't know, just skaggy story. Lack of knowledge is one of the most deadly enemies. I remember that theme popping up somewhere. I don't know, I swear it was from there, I don't know though. But still, the point is, that is so true. No. Yeah. You'll kill her. But you don't realise. It must have been, it really must have been. You were doing everything within your power. Fair. If only you lived in the 21st century. It's not as blasphemous. Morgana is not a con person. She is not. She is doing this all from the heart. She has been conned herself by con people, so she believes that her genuine actions, which are just cons, and I don't mean conventions, cons, she believes them to be genuine, even though they look like cons. It's cool. It's fucking cool. Yeah. No, it's not. But she's willingly doing it. They think it's for a good cause. And you are saving your sister, surely? Yeah, but what's sacred about any of this? What is... Yeah, you can never know. Yeah, you're just desperate, and desperation is what moves you on to the next step, if you ask me. But oh my god, I'm going to be very interested to see just what will happen, and what these nasty, nasty people are going to do to convince Mell to be part of their conspiracy. Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I mean, it's awful. You're doing all of this for a good cause, sure, helping your sister, but at the same time, look at how much you are having to do that's wrong. But at the same time, whose fault is it? Is it your fault for encouraging it, or is it Morgana's fault for being passionate and wanting to save the sister and thinking that she will give her blood as many times as possible if it means there is a chance of saving, what's her name? Nelly? Fair. Yeah. Reasonable. Oh shit. Oh shit! Oh, this theme! Right, that's a good... Oh shit. It's a good place to stop, because this is where everything changes. Oh fuck! We're looking forward to tomorrow. We are looking forward to tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be nice. Really, really nice. And I will actually have a new chair, so I'll be able to test that out as well. Actually, maybe I'll test out my chair. I don't know if I'll be able to read tomorrow, because I've got to set up my chair and don't know if I'll have the time. I hope I do, but there's no guarantee, which sucks. But anyway, yeah, today was really good, and I find it very interesting at the end, the kind of fear that Mell was starting to get for Morgana. And I suppose you could just explain that fear in the sense that she's doing all of these terrifying actions. How different you are and how little you can relate is just coming, and it's increasing, and just the fact that somebody like this is human, the most terrifying thing. And the fact that somebody can just willingly just slit themselves just so that somebody can have blood. I suppose all of the psychological torment of having Nelly get worse. And can I just mention, I think with Nelly getting worse, it's partly Mell desperately appealing to himself, but he's also very, very connected with his sister, and he kind of underestimates that a bit. But yeah, I don't blame him for getting terrified of Morgana. I don't. God, I just wonder if we're going to be able to save Morgana in the end. This is all leading up to one fucking epic finale, I think, and I'm really excited for it. Oh, they're going to do it well. Let's be honest here. I mean, I'm sorry, but the story's just getting better and better. And if I'm going to be honest, I think Morgana's story is one of the best parts of the entire visual novel. So them then giving so much more depth. I mean, what a good decision. I just love how many parts of the story you would have thought, how many things that are so different, but they all combine to make one big picture. I love it. And I'm very excited to see what Requiem for Innocence is as well, and how that differs. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time.